Hey folks, today I'm going to be installing my MSI GeForce RTX 5080 into my NR200P Max V2 case from Cooler Master. Now, this is a Mini ITX form factor case, and I still have no idea if this GPU is even going to fit inside. I haven't done the measurements. I'm just guessing it's going to, because this is supposed to accommodate large GPUs, and this is only a 2-slot GPU. Now, one thing I really like about this Mini ITX case is that it does come with the SFX PSU already installed, okay, which is an 850 watt PSU, which is what a 5080 needs. And just as importantly, it comes with the required cable for the 16-pin connection. So we won't need to use the adapter that came with the graphics card. And this cable that's included with the case is for 450 watts. Okay, that's just for the GPU. That's not saying the PSU is only 450, the PSU is 850, but that's perfect for the 5080 too, since this has up to a 360 watt power draw. So as you can see, I don't currently have a GPU in this system at all, so this isn't technically like an upgrade from a 4080 or anything. I know that a lot of reviewers have said that it's not worth it to upgrade from the 4080 to the 5080, but the price between the two is actually comparable in the UK, so it just made sense for me to get the newer model, especially because I'll be using this system for gaming and also for workflow, for video editing. Right now, I've just been using the integrated GPU of the Intel Core 7, which is the 265K. So it will be nice to finally get this GPU actually installed in here and give a big boost to the system. So let's go ahead and remove the sections from the case. One thing I do love about this case, and I've actually brought a couple of these for different builds, is the fact that you can just dismantle it so much, and it actually makes working in this ITX case actually easier, in my opinion, than many standard ATX cases that are obviously a lot bigger. And I've got the graphics card itself mounted to the bracket here. Just as a quick note, make sure when you mount it so that it's going to be in those two slots, okay? And the third slot is only if you have a GPU that's 3 slots wide, which mine isn't. And make sure as well that the bottom of the graphics card does fit into those 2 bottom slots as well for extra stability. So yeah, let's get this mother installed. So I've got the riser adapter in, okay, around the cables here. One thing to note, the graphics card itself supports up to PCIe 5, whereas the riser cable is only PCIe 4. But that's really not going to make a blinding bit of difference for me with my setup. However, if it turns out with, tests and that later on down the road, that PCI Express 5 is going to make a difference in this build, then I'm sure when the riser Gen 5 cables come out, I can easily replace this current one here. And now just before I slot this in, we need to make sure that the connector here, if I can show you that, is plugged in. So I'll just connect that into the top. There we go. Make sure this is connected properly. There have been issues with previous generations of these cards where people weren't connecting these. So yeah, that can actually be quite dangerous. Make sure the connection has taken correctly. Now the cable isn't the longest, but it should be sufficient for our needs here as we line the card back up. And I think I'll just drop a couple of screws in right now to make sure that this is going to stay put. And then we'll just plug the riser cable in. Make sure the catch is undone just here, and it should eventually click into place. Yeah, hopefully you guys heard that. Beautiful connection. And just to show you, this is the unit with the card, and it's all now turned on. Doesn't seem to be any kind of lighting on the card, or maybe it just hasn't turned on if there is. Doesn't bother me because I've got a panel covering it. But I'll just push this close. Obviously it's not under load at the moment, but you can hear it's very quiet. Virtually silent right now, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, hopefully you can still see me over all this. But that is the card installation. Very easy, as you can see. My worries about the card not fitting were completely unfounded. There's bags of room inside this case for the RTX 5080, and I'm happy with this setup. So I'm not going to bother with benchmarks because there's a million YouTube videos of some of the high-tech reviewers that have done a far better job than I could ever do, giving you all of the benchmark tests with this particular card. I just wanted to show you, from a standard, normal user such as myself, getting this into my computer, my Mini ITX build. So hopefully this has been somewhat helpful to you. And here it is, my brand new GPU. Looking forward to putting it through its paces. And I'll see you next time.